talking about the Taklamakan Desert. This desert is surrounded by two towering mountain ranges. They are the Tian Shan Mountains to the north and the Kunlun Mountains to the south. The average annual rainfall in this desert is only 25 millimeters, while the average evaporation is about 150 times that amount. This is the largest desert in China. The Taklamakan Desert occupies about 20% of Xinjiang's total area and is equivalent to 50 times the area of Shanghai. The entire desert stretches 1,000 kilometers from east to west and 400 kilometers from north to south. It covers an area of approximately 330,000 square kilometers, meaning this desert is about the same size as our entire country of Vietnam. Why is it called the Taklamakan Desert? The name Taklamakan is understood to have the following meanings. First, Taklamakan means the place from which one cannot return because, according to folk legend, this desert is so hot and vast that once someone enters, they cannot get out and cannot return. Second, the name of this desert can be understood as a place of desolation or a place of death, because there is very little water here to support human life, except for a few widely spaced oases. However, despite its harshness, the Taklamakan Desert still played a very important role on the ancient Silk Road. As two of the oases in this desert were used as resting points, resting places, and trading points for merchants from Europe to Asia. These are the northern and southern edges of this desert, branches of the ancient Silk Road, and they were used by merchants. Currently, China is striving to make the Taklamakan Desert the greenest desert in the world. In terms of specific conditions, this desert is similar to other deserts, with summer temperatures around 50 degrees Celsius or even higher, but winters are extremely cold, especially at night. The lowest temperature ever recorded in this desert was -32 degrees Celsius in February 2008. At that time, the desert even had snow, and the snow cover on the desert reached up to 3.8 centimeters, making many people unable to recognize it as a desert and mistaking it for the Arctic or Antarctic. Taklamakan is also a desert with historical significance. For a long time, due to archaeological traces that remain to this day, it is known that within the Taklamakan Desert, there are many houses and temples amidst the vast expanse of sand. However, all of these, including these valuable ancient relics, have been covered by sand, and everything has vanished into oblivion. Many people do not even know such things exist in the desert without knowledge from books. Before discussing in detail how much water this desert has, let's explore the very basics of a desert, which are the sand dunes. The sand dunes here are known to be about 100 meters high, and in rare cases, they can reach up to about 300 meters. The most interesting thing about this desert is that the sand dunes move when the wind blows, not just normally blowing sand grains from one place to another, but moving entire dunes. And they can move up to 150 meters in 1 year, which is extremely surprising to people. Along with that are dust columns, which can be as high as 4,000 meters. Winds from different directions blow such dust clouds into the sky, covering the Taklamakan with a thick layer of dust year-round. With all such harsh conditions, it's no wonder people call this desert the Sea of Death, a place of desolation, or a place of no return. Taklamakan is also famous for the routes that cross through this desert. In the past, the means of transporting goods across the Taklamakan Desert were part of the Silk Road, as mentioned to you. A place that connected and facilitated exchange between Europe and Asia for thousands of years. Therefore, since ancient times, this desolate place has played a positive role in that bridge. And of course, to cross the desert, people did not go straight through it but had to go along the edges of the desert, passing through less harsh areas, even though this route is more winding and longer. Today, the Chinese government has built a highway across the desert. This highway is for cars to travel along the edge of the desert, similar to the ancient Silk Road. This journey is longer but less harsh and safer for drivers. Additionally, there is a railway line that cuts straight through the desert. Both the highway for cars and the railway for trains will help quickly shorten the distance between the east and west of China, thereby aiding economic development. Construction in the desert is also very challenging because the desert environment is extremely dry, with almost nothingness, and building such a route is almost impossible, but the Chinese still strive to accomplish it. They built using the most modern technologies and techniques that apply international standards. Especially because the desert has very high surface temperatures and extreme temperature variations between day and night. China has used fleets of unmanned bulldozers and installed intelligent management systems. And to prevent sandstorms from burying the roads in this desert, technicians have built a massive green belt. On both sides of the road with drip irrigation pipes, helping vegetation grow in the scorching heat. It is known that to maintain this huge infrastructure, the Chinese government has hired a team of workers to work in the area around the highway. Every 4 kilometers, there is a small blue house, and such houses are provided for 2 people to live in. These 2 people will stay here for up to 2 years to monitor and repair the irrigation system on the highway they are assigned to. It should be noted that monitoring and repairing the irrigation system, meaning the watering system for the plants, to keep them green. But as for the highway itself, they are confident they can handle it well. And the repair and monitoring of the highway almost do not require ordinary human effort. Additionally, since 2003, China has planted about 2 million trees each year, built dozens of water sources, and increased the size of the green belts in the sand by hundreds of kilometers. This is a typical example showing China's efforts to green the desert. Moreover, to provide electricity for people living around this area, China has accelerated the construction of large-scale solar and wind power plants in the desert region. This power source will supply energy to the Xinjiang region. And importantly, as China has committed, without emitting carbon into the environment. Does the Taklamakan Desert have water? If looking only at the surface, with scarce rainfall, this desert only has 2 oases along trade routes. But an unexpected discovery was found in 2015. That was a breakthrough discovery by Chinese scientists. Scientists found clues about water. There is a massive amount of water, an underground ocean, hidden beneath the Zhuling Basin in Xinjiang, northwest China. And this area is also where the Taklamakan Desert is located. Beneath it, the estimated amount of water is equivalent to 10 times the total water volume of all 5 grid, and many extraction activities are being conducted by Chinese scientists. Finally, greening the Taklamakan Desert is part of the so-called Green Great Wall in China. Since 1978, China has proposed a plan called the Green Great Wall, with a focus on building walls with trees. These walls will be about 50 meters wide and about 4,500 kilometers long, aiming to increase forest coverage in the arid areas of the country. When completed, it will become a living wall of trees running along China's deserts. To complete the Green Great Wall, tens of thousands of workers across China will go into arid areas. They need to plant enough 88 billion trees before 2050. In the initial phase, workers will plant grass and region-specific plants. Then, when the grass grows, they will plant drought-resistant shrubs. This is a long-term strategy and a difficult problem for China, because this country has more deserts than people usually think. China is a country with many arid lands, unlike our perception. Deserts in China account for up to 28% of the country's total area. That is an astonishing figure. Although China is trying to reverse desertification, turning wastelands into fertile, green areas will take quite a lot of time. Moreover, it is also calculated that about 58% of China's area is covered by mountains and plateaus. And China's fertile land actually only accounts for 15% of the area.